Let's get ready to rumble!
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Keeping It Real with your boy RUNDOWNKEEM. Y'all already know what time it is. This episode right here is about to hit different. We're talking about change. You either adapt or get left the fuck behind. Period. We all deal with it, whether it's relationships, careers, or leveling up in life. Today, we're going to break down how to embrace that shit and not only survive, but thrive when life takes a turn. Before we jump in, let me give a shout out to my sponsors, because you know we out here getting bags for the chasers and chase sets. W.GG, the real ones holding it down for clean energy. Don't forget to use code RUNDOWNKEEM for 20% off when you cop that W. Also, shout out to Eclipse.gg for making sure our content's looking crisp. Use code RUNDXWN10 to get a discount on premium subscriptions and step up your editing game. Alright, let's get into it. First off, let's break down what the fuck change even is. It's simple. Change is the only constant in life. I don't care who you are or where you're at, shit's always gonna evolve. Whether it's losing a job, moving to a new city, or breaking up with someone you thought was the one. It's a part of life. And if you think you can avoid it, you're only fooling yourself. Change, at its core, is about growth. You can't stay stagnant and expect to grow into the person you want to become. Real talk, you either move with the waves or get wiped the fuck out. That's how it goes. But here's where the difference lies. Do you view change as a threat or as an opportunity? See, most people get scared and retreat when life shifts. That's cowardly energy. But those who are real bag chasers, they see change as a challenge, a way to level up. Let's think of change like a video game. Each level has new challenges, but also new rewards. If you want to win, you gotta embrace those challenges head on. You can't stay on level 1 forever, fam. So here's the mindset shift. Stop seeing change as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. Let's talk about fear real quick. Cause we all feel it. When life throws a curveball, fear is usually the first emotion that hits us, right? It's that gut feeling like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? That fear is natural. We've been hardwired to fear the unknown, and that's exactly what change is, a big ass question mark. You don't know what's on the other side of it, and that can shake even the most confident of us. But here's the kicker. Fear ain't real. Yeah, I said it. It's not real. Fear is just your mind's way of trying to protect you, but it ends up keeping you in a box. And if you let it, that box will turn into a prison. Let's break it down. When you feel fear creeping up, ask yourself, is this shit really gonna kill me? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Sure, it's uncomfortable, but that discomfort is where growth happens. It's where you push past your old limits and enter a new version of yourself. Look, I'm not saying don't feel fear. Feel it, but don't let it control you. When you feel that fear, that's the universe telling you that you're on the brink of something new. So instead of running from it, run toward it. And for all my bag chasers and chase sets listening, here's a pro tip. Take small steps. You don't gotta conquer the whole mountain at once. Start with a few baby steps. Over time, those small wins will add up. And before you know it, you're staring down at the mountain you once feared. Now that we've addressed fear, let's move to another beast, letting go. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes to embrace change, you gotta let go of some old shit. Old habits, old people, old jobs, old dreams even. Look, I know how hard it is to let go. You've built an identity around certain things, and when life pushes you to let them go, it feels like a part of you is being ripped away. But I'm here to tell you, holding on to the past is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of bricks. You're slowing your own damn self down, fam. So, how do we let go? How do we release the grip we have on things that no longer serve us? Step 1, acknowledge that shit's over. Don't sugarcoat it. If a relationship is done, it's done. If a job is no longer fulfilling, stop trying to convince yourself it's worth it. Call a spade and move on. Step 2, forgive yourself and others. This is a big one. A lot of the time, we hold on to shit because we feel like we're owed something. Maybe you think you're owed an apology, or maybe you feel like you need closure. Let me tell you right now, you don't need closure, you don't need an apology. All you need to do is make peace with the fact that things didn't turn out the way you planned, and that's okay. Step 3, visualize the future. This one is a game changer. If you want to fully let go, you got to start imagining what your life looks like without the old baggage. Picture yourself thriving in the new chapter of your life. What does it feel like? What does it look like? Get specific with it. That mental picture will help you let go of the old and embrace the new. Now, here's the truth. Life is always going to test you. That's just how it is. But whether you break under pressure or rise to the occasion depends on one thing: emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is your ability to bounce back from tough situations. It's about getting knocked down and saying, "Is that all you got?" before getting back up and swinging harder. Now, this doesn't mean you never feel sad, frustrated, or angry. Shit, feel those emotions. Feel them fucking deeply, but don't let them define you. When you get hit with a change that rattles you to the core, it's important to feel it, process it, and then decide how you're going to respond. Here are 3 tips to build emotional resilience. 1. Stop awfulizing. Don't jump to the worst case scenario every time something goes wrong. Life's not out to get you, trust me. When something bad happens, instead of thinking this is the end, try asking, what's the lesson here? 2. Build a strong support system. I can't stress this enough. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. When shit hits the fan, those are the people you'll need in your corner. 3. Practice gratitude, even in the hard times. When you're going through change, especially tough change, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong. But practicing gratitude, even for the smallest things, can shift your mindset and help you see the opportunities that change can bring. All right, let's get one thing straight. The transition period between old and new is messy as fuck. Anyone who tells you it's smooth sailing is straight up lying to you. There's always that awkward in-between phase where nothing feels certain and you're questioning every decision you've made. This phase is called the liminal space, that place between the ending of one chapter and the beginning of the next. And it's uncomfortable as hell. But let me tell you this, the transition is where the magic happens. It's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. You don't get the wings without going through the cocoon phase. And trust me, that cocoon ain't comfy. The key here is to trust the process. You might not see the end game yet, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. When you're in the middle of a transition, keep your eyes on the prize. Focus on the bigger picture. Now listen up, fam. Let's get real. Change is uncomfortable as fuck, and that's exactly why most people run from it. But here's what I need you to understand. Comfort zones are dead zones. You know that cozy little bubble you built for yourself? That shit's suffocating your potential. Look, I'm not saying it's bad to feel comfortable. Comfort has its place. It can recharge you, make you feel secure, but staying there for too long, that's when you start dying on the inside. You're not pushing your limits, you're not evolving, you're not chilling, you're just chilling in the same spot. And guess what? Life is gonna pass you the fuck by. Let me give you an example. Think about working out. When you first hit the gym, everything hurts. Your muscles are sore, your energy's low, and you're probably thinking, why the hell am I doing this to myself? But then, a few weeks in, you start to see the results. You're stronger, leaner, and your confidence is through the roof. That's because you push through the discomfort and embrace the change. It's the same with every aspect of life. If you're serious about thriving, you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. The more you stretch yourself, the more you grow. So here's the challenge for all my bag chasers and chasettes. Step out of your comfort zone. Do something today that scares you. Send that email, ask for that promotion, try that new hobby. Do it, because staying in your comfort zone, that's for people who are okay with mediocrity. And I know y'all are better than that. All right, now we're getting into mindset. If you don't control your mindset, trust me, it's gonna control you. And when it comes to change, mindset is everything. Here's the thing. Most people see change and think, why is this happening to me? They go into victim mode, which is the quickest way to sabotage any growth. But you're gonna flip the script. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You're gonna start asking, what is this teaching me? Life's not about dodging challenges. It's about learning from them. Every change, every obstacle is an opportunity to level up. When you shift your mindset from victim to student, you become unstoppable. And look, I know it's easier said than done. When you're in the middle of chaos, it's hard to see the lesson, but that's where trust comes in. Trust that the lesson is there, even if you can't see it yet. Here's a quick exercise to help you shift your mindset. Next time you're facing a change that feels overwhelming, grab a piece of paper and write down 3 things this change could be teaching you. Maybe it's teaching you patience, resilience, or how to pivot quickly. Whatever it is, focus on the lesson, not the loss. That is how you flip the script on change and start owning your life instead of letting life own you. Now, let's talk about confidence. Because when life changes, your confidence can take a hit. You're stepping into unknown territory, and it's easy to start doubting yourself. But here's the secret. Confidence doesn't come from knowing what's ahead. It comes from knowing you can handle whatever the fuck comes your way. Confidence is built, not given. And the best way to build it, start keeping promises to yourself. It's that simple. Every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you follow through, you build trust with yourself. That trust, that's your foundation for confidence. Now let's be real for a second. When you're in a time of change, everything around you can feel unstable. Your job might be up in the air, your relationship might be shifting, and you might not know what the next move is. But the one thing that you can control is you. You can control your habits, your mindset, and how you show up. Here's the action plan. Pick one small promise to yourself that you're gonna keep every single day. Maybe it's waking up earlier, hitting the gym, or spending 10 minutes learning something new. Whatever it is, stick to it. When you start showing up for yourself, your confidence will skyrocket, even in times of uncertainty. And remember, confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you feel the doubt but still move forward. So go out there and move forward no matter what. All right, let's talk patience for a minute. Because I know we live in a world where everybody wants shit to happen right now. But real change, that shit takes time. Ain't no shortcuts to the top. And if you're looking for one, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Look, I get it. When you're in the middle of change, it's easy to feel impatient. You want to see results. You want to feel like things are falling into place. But let me hit you with some truth. Nothing worth having comes fast. Whether it's building a career, getting in shape, or developing stronger relationships, the process takes time. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't plant that shit and expect a tree the next day. You gotta water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. Change is the same way. It's a slow grind, but if you stick with it, the results are gonna blow your mind. Patience doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing though. It means taking consistent action and trusting that the results will come. It means staying focused on the long game even when short term feels rough. So when you're feeling frustrated that things aren't happening fast enough, remind yourself that every big change you want in life takes time. Be patient, but keep grinding. The results will come. Now, if you're serious about embracing change, you gotta get comfortable with failure. That's right. Fucking up is part of the process. Too many people out here are scared to take risks because they don't want to fail. But guess what? Failure is the price of admission if you want to succeed. Think about it like this. Every successful person you look up to, they failed more times than you've even tried. The difference is they didn't let that shit stop them. They learned from their mistakes, adjusted, and kept moving forward. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's just a detour. When something doesn't work out, that's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to change your approach. Maybe you need to tweak your strategy, maybe you need to practice, or maybe you're just learning what doesn't work. Either way, it's all a part of the journey. So next time you fuck up, don't beat yourself up about it. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? That's how you turn failure into fuel. And when you're fueled by lessons instead of fear, there's nothing you can't do. All right, let's switch gears and talk about your circle. If you're serious about thriving through change, you need to take a hard look at the people around you, and trust me, your environment will make or break you. Here's the harsh truth. Not everyone is going to support your growth. Some people are cool with you staying where you're at because it makes them feel better about their own lives. But the minute you start changing, leveling up, or going after something bigger, you're going to see who's really down for you. That's why you need to surround yourself with people who get it. People who are on the same wavelength as you, who want to see you win, and who push you to be better. If your circle is full of people who complain, stay stuck, or make excuses, guess what? That energy is going to rub off on you. So here's the move. Audit your circle. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you to grow, or are they holding you back? If they're not contributing to your growth, it's time to limit that access. And this doesn't mean you have to cut people off completely, unless they're toxic as hell. But it does mean being intentional about who you spend your time with. You deserve to be around people who challenge you to be your best, who inspire you, and who are thriving in their own lives. Because that energy, that shit's contagious. Here's a hard truth for y'all. The only constant in life is change. And the ones who thrive aren't the ones who resist it, but the ones who learn how to adapt to it. If you want to thrive in this next chapter of your life, you need to master the art of adaptability. Adaptability isn't about being passive or just going with the flow. Nah, it's about being proactive in how you approach new challenges. It's about being flexible, but also staying rooted in your purpose. You gotta bend without breaking. When life throws you curveballs, and trust me, it will, you need to be able to adjust your swing and keep pushing forward. Let's talk about a real world example. Think about businesses during the pandemic. The ones that adapted, shifted online, changed their models, or diversified their products are still standing strong today. The ones that didn't, they're out of business. Same goes for you. If you refuse to adapt, life will leave you behind. So how do you build adaptability? First, you need to stay open to learning. Every day should be an opportunity to learn something new, whether that's about yourself, your career, or the world around you. Second, practice emotional resilience. Don't let setbacks knock you off course. Adjust, regroup, and move forward. Lastly, stay open to new opportunities. Sometimes change will bring you places you never expected to go. And guess what? Those new places might just be where you're meant to be all along. Stay flexible, keep growing, and watch how far you'll go. Let's get into something that might surprise you. When we're talking about change, gratitude. Now, I know that might sound like some corny self-help shit, but hear me out. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you can use when you're going through a period of transition. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're reminding yourself that even though things might be changing, there's still a lot of good in your life. That's grounding as hell, and it keeps you from spiraling into negativity. It's easy to focus on what you're losing and what's uncertain, but focusing on what you still have gives you the strength to handle what's coming next. Start small. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Could be anything. Your health, your family, the fact that you woke up today. When you build a habit of gratitude, your mindset shifts and you start seeing opportunities when you used to see obstacles. This doesn't mean you ignore the tough shit or act like life's perfect. It means you acknowledge the struggle, but also take stock of what's going right. And when you're thankful for what's good, you attract more good into your life. Yo, when we talk about change, we can't leave out relationships. Because let's be real, as you grow and evolve, your relationships will too. Some will get stronger, some will fade away, and that's just the natural circle of life. This can be one of the hardest parts to change though. Losing people, whether it's friends, family, or romantic partners, is painful as hell. But sometimes letting go is necessary for your growth. The people who are meant to be in your life will grow with you, and the ones who aren't, well, they'll fall the fuck off, and that's okay. But here's the thing, you gotta communicate through these changes. If you're evolving and the people around you don't know why, they might feel abandoned or left behind. So talk about it. Let people know what you're going through. Some relationships will evolve with you when you give them the chance. And if they don't, if someone's not willing to grow with you, let them the fuck go. Don't force it. Trust that new people will come into your life who align with the person you're becoming. Chasers and Chasettes, here's a key to navigating change that might sound a little basic, but it's essential. Routine. When everything in your life feels uncertain, having some kind of routine can give you structure. It's like your anchor in the storm. Now, I'm not talking about some super rigid, boring ass routine where every morning of your day is planned out. I'm talking about having consistent habits that ground you. Things like waking up at the same time, working out, journaling, or even taking 10 minutes to meditate or pray. When you have a routine, you're telling yourself, no matter what else is changing, I've got control over this. And having that control gives you that mental space to handle the stuff that's out of your control. Find a routine that works for you and stick with it, especially during times of change. It's gonna keep you balanced, focused, and ready to face whatever's coming next. All right, let's talk money. Because a lot of the time when people think about change, their mind goes straight to financial change. Maybe you're starting a new job, maybe you've lost one, or maybe you're just trying to figure out how to save for the future. Whatever the case, financial stability during times of change is key. First things first, if you're facing a major change, take a hard look at your budget. Yeah, I said it, budget. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but crucial as hell. Figure out what you need to survive and where you can cut back. The goal is to give yourself some breathing room so that you're not stressed out about every little expense. Second, start looking for ways to diversify your income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you got a side hustle you've been thinking about starting, now's the time. If you can pick up extra shifts or gigs, do it. The more streams of income you have, the better prepared you'll be to handle any financial changes that come your way. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's financial advice from a pro or emotional support from a friend, you don't have to go through these changes alone. When everything around you is shifting, one of the best things you can do is set clear, actionable goals. I'm talking about setting goals that inspire you, but also keep you focused on what you can control. Start by breaking these things down into small, manageable steps. Chasers and chasettes, don't overwhelm yourself with big picture goals like, I want to make 6 figures, or I want to run my own business. Those are great. But if you are in the middle of a major change, you need to focus on what you can do today to move forward. Set daily or weekly goals that are directly related to your larger vision. Keep track of your progress and celebrate the small wins. The more consistent you are with your short-term goals, the more you'll build momentum towards those big dreams. And remember, your goals can shift as you change. Don't be afraid to pivot or adjust your plan if something new comes into play. Flexibility is key during times of transition. Now, I don't care what you believe in. God, the universe, energy, whatever. Faith plays a major role in how you navigate change. Having faith means that things are working out for your good, even when you can't see it. Faith gives you the strength to move forward when everything around you feels uncertain. It's that inner voice telling you, keep going. This is temporary. When you lean on your faith, you're not carrying the weight of change alone. You're trusting in something bigger than yourself. If you're not religious, that's cool. You can still have faith in your own abilities, in the process, or in the idea that everything is happening for a reason. Whatever that faith looks like for you, lean into it when shit gets tough. Trust that every challenge, every roadblock is leading you somewhere. Keep the faith and watch how you'll come out stronger and on the other side. All right, we can't talk about navigating change without talking about mental health. When shit starts shifting in your life, it can all take a toll on your mind if you're not careful. And if your mental health isn't in check, it doesn't matter how much you hustle or how adaptable you are, you'll burn the fuck out. Let's be real. Change is stressful. Whether it's good change or bad change, your brain is working overtime trying to process it all. That's why you need to take care of your mental health, like it's your number one priority. First, be aware of how you're feeling. Don't just push your emotions to the side and act like everything's cool when it's not. If you're stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, acknowledge that shit. Once you recognize what's going on inside, you can start taking steps to manage it. Second, make time for self-care. I'm not talking about just taking a bath, getting a massage, though if that's your thing, do it. I'm talking about real self-care. Therapy, journaling, exercising, eating right, getting enough sleep. Those are the things that keep your mind and body strong when everything else around you is changing. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're struggling, reach out to a therapist, counselor, or even a trusted friend. Mental health isn't something to fuck around with. So take it seriously and make sure you're giving yourself the support you need. One of the hardest parts about change is dealing with uncertainty. We all like to know what's coming next, but the truth is, life doesn't work that way. Most of the time, you're not going to know exactly how things are going to play out, and that's okay. You got to learn how to embrace the unknown. Here's what you need to understand. Uncertainty isn't the enemy. It's just part of the process. When you resist it, when you try to control every little detail, you're only making things harder for yourself. Instead, try leaning into that uncertainty. Get curious about it. Ask yourself, what opportunities could come from this? Uncertainty is where the magic happens. It's where new possibilities are born. When you stop trying to predict or control the future and just trust the process, that's when life starts to open up for you. It's not easy, I get that. But every time you face uncertainty and come out on the other side, you get a little stronger. You build resilience. And the next time, it won't feel as scary. So, next time you're staring down the barrel of the unknown, remind yourself that you've made it through tough shit before, and you'll do it again. Look, we've all been through some shit. And if you're anything like me, you probably had your fair share of mistakes, fuck-ups, and regrets. But here's the thing, your past doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do with your past. Too many people let their past hold them back. They get stuck in what they did wrong or what they didn't do, and it keeps them from moving forward. But guess what? Your past is a fucking gold mine of lessons, and if you use those lessons right, they'll help you thrive in the next chapter of your life. Start reflecting on your past. What are the key takeaways from your experiences? What did you learn from your failures, from your successes? Use that knowledge as fuel to make smarter decisions going forward. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying dwell on the past. I'm saying learn from it. There's a difference. Dwelling keeps you stuck. Learning helps you grow. So take a minute today to think about where you've been. Then decide how you're going to use that experience to crush whatever comes next. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get enough credit when we're dealing with change: creativity. When life is throwing you curveballs, tapping into your creative side can be a game changer. Creativity isn't just about art or music. It's about problem solving, thinking outside the box, and finding new ways to handle old problems. When you're creative, you're more adaptable, more resourceful, and way more capable of thriving through change. So, how do you foster creativity in your life? First, give yourself the space to explore. Try new things, take on different challenges, and allow yourself to think differently. Maybe it's a new hobby, maybe it's a side project, or maybe it's just approaching your work in a new way. Creativity thrives when you're not afraid to fail, so stop worrying about getting it perfect. The more you experience, the more creative solutions you'll find. And listen, creativity isn't just for artists. Everyone has a creative side, and if you lean into it during times of change, you'll find that you're able to navigate life's transitions with way more ease and a hell of a lot way more fun. Now, let's dive into one of the biggest changes people go through: career changes. Whether you're switching industries, starting your own business, or looking for a new job, navigating a career transition can be tough as hell. But here's the good news: you've got the tools you need to handle it. First, recognize that every job or career path has given you valuable skills. Just because you're switching roles doesn't mean you're starting from scratch. Take stock of what you've learned and figure out how those skills can transfer to your new path. Second, network like a boss. Your network is everything when it comes to navigating a career change. Reach out to people in your field of interest, ask questions, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. The more people you know, the more opportunities will come your way. And third, don't be scared to start over. I know it's intimidating, but starting fresh can be the best thing that ever happens to you. You're not behind. You're just on a different timeline than other people. Embrace that shit. Career changes aren't the end of the world. They're just the beginning of something new. Keep your mindset strong, stay open to learning, and watch how the next chapter of your career unfolds. One of the hardest parts of embracing change is letting go of old identities. Maybe you've always been known as the smart one, or the athlete, or the reliable friend. And now that life is shifting, you're not sure where you fit in anymore. And that's okay. Here's the truth: you're allowed to redefine yourself. You're allowed to go out of those labels people have put on you and create new ones. In fact, you need to if you want to grow. Start by asking yourself who you want to be in the next chapter of your life. What values do you want to live by? What kind of energy do you want to bring into the world? Then start by making decisions that align with that new identity. It's scary as hell to let go of who you've always been, but you can't step into the future if you're holding on to your past. Let yourself evolve. Trust the process. You're becoming the person you're meant to be. One of the biggest mistakes people make when dealing with change is that they don't take time to reflect. They just push through, trying to have everything at once. And before they know it, they're overwhelmed as fuck. Here's the thing: if you don't give yourself time to process change, you're gonna burn the fuck out. Chasers and chasettes, reflection is key to making sense of everything that's going on around you. It helps you connect the dots, learn the lessons, and figure out your next move. Reflection isn't just about thinking back on what's happened, but also about assessing where you are right now and where you want to go. Start by setting aside time each week to reflect. It could be through journaling, meditation, or just sitting quietly and letting your mind process everything. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this experience? How am I feeling about the changes happening around me? What do I want to focus on moving forward? Reflection helps you stay grounded in the middle of chaos. It reminds you of what you've been through, what you've achieved, and how far you've come. So don't skip this step. Embrace it and let it guide you for the rest of your journey. Now listen, confidence is a game changer when you're navigating life's transitions. But here's the deal: Confidence doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's something you build, especially during times of change. The more you face challenges head on, the more you realize what you're capable of. Every time you adapt, every time you succeed, or even when you fail but keep going, you're stocking up evidence that you're strong enough to handle what life throws your way. To build confidence, start by setting small goals and fucking crushing them. Each time you accomplish something, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you got this. And don't just focus on the big wins, celebrate the little fucking victories too, because they're just as important. Another way to build confidence is to trust your instincts. When life is changing, you're gonna have to make decisions without always knowing the full picture. Trust me, and trust yourself. You've made it this far, and you'll continue to grow and thrive. Confidence is built through action, so stop doubting yourself. Take that first step and watch how your confidence skyrockets. When your whole world is shifting, it's easy to feel like you're losing your footing. That's why staying grounded is so important. You need something that keeps you centered, no matter how chaotic life gets. First, find your non-negotiables. These are the things that keep you sane and stable, no matter what. For some, it might be exercise. For others, it's meditation, prayer, or spending time with loved ones. Figure out what keeps you balanced and make sure you're carving out time for it regularly. Second, focus on your breathing. Yeah, I know it sounds basic as hell, but when you're feeling overwhelmed, stopping to take a few deep breaths can calm your mind and bring you back to the present. There's power in being mindful and staying in the moment. Lastly, stay connected to your values. When you know what you stand for, it's easier to navigate through change without feeling lost. Keep your values at the forefront of your decisions and let them guide you as you move through life's transitions. Listen, no one thrives alone. When life is changing, it's crucial to surround yourself with a community that supports you, lifts you up, and keeps you grounded. Having the right people in your corner can make all the difference when shit gets tough. Your community might be friends, family, mentors, or even online groups. The key is finding people who are positive, who believe in you, and who are willing to push you when you need it. These are the people, chasers and chasettes, your ride or dies, the ones who will hold you down when life gets crazy. But here's the catch. You've got to be willing to let them in. Don't try to go through big changes alone. Be vulnerable, open up, and allow your community to support you. And in return, make sure you're doing the same for them. A strong community makes life changes feel less overwhelming. So if you don't have that community yet, start building it. Surround yourself with people who align with your values and goals, and together, you'll navigate whatever success comes next. Let's talk about success for a second. In a world that constantly changes, the way we define success has to evolve too. The old school idea of success, climbing the corporate ladder, getting the house, the car, the perfect life, doesn't cut it for anyone anymore. In this next chapter of your life, you need to redefine what success looks like for you. Maybe success for you is finding balance, creating something meaningful, or spending more time with your family. Maybe it's about personal growth rather than material achievements. The point is, your version of success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. In fact, it shouldn't. Your journey is yours alone, so define success on your own terms. And when life changes, don't be afraid to redefine that success. Success is fluid. What mattered to you 5 years ago might not matter now, and that's okay. As long as you're staying true to yourself and living a life that aligns with your values, you, chaser and chasettes, are winning. All right, we've covered a lot today. From building resilience to navigating relationships to finding confidence in the face of uncertainty, one thing is clear: change is inevitable, but thriving through change is a choice. Here's what I want you to take away from all this. Life is full of twists and you're gonna face changes that feel uncomfortable, maybe even impossible, but every single one of these changes is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to step into a new version of yourself. You, chaser, you, chasette, are stronger than you realize. You're more adaptable than you give yourself credit for. And whatever the next chapter of your life brings, you're gonna handle it like the bag chaser or chasette that you are. So stop fearing change and start embracing it. It's not something to run from, it's something to lean into, because that is where the real growth happens. I'll leave you with this. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your willingness to embrace change. So go out there and face that shit head on and thrive in whatever comes next. Before we close out this season, I gotta give a huge shout out to my sponsors. W.GG and Eclipse.GG. If you're looking to boost your energy without the crash, head over to W.GG and use code RUNDOWNKEEM for 20% off your order. And for all my content creators out there, if you're trying to level up your streams, check out Eclipse.GG and use the code RUNDXWN10 for a discount on their premium services. Now, as we wrap up this season finale of Keeping It Real, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This season has been an incredible journey, and your support means everything to me. Whether you've been here from the start or you just tuned in, I appreciate every single one of you. This is it for season 1, but don't worry, we're coming back even bigger and better for season 2, dropping a month from now. Mark your calendars because you do not want to miss what we've got in store. New guests, deeper conversations, and even more realness. Trust me, it's gonna be fire. I'm beyond grateful for everyone who's listened, shared, and supported this show. Y'all are the real MVPs, and I can't wait to keep growing and evolving with you in the next season. Make sure to follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at RundownKeem so you don't miss any updates on season 2. And as always, keep embracing change, keep thriving, and I'll catch y'all in the next chapter of Keeping It Real. See you in November for season 2. Peace and much love. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next month. Peace and love. Peace.
Bye-bye.